Recently, I talked to another member of this group for whom I'm making these videos. We talked about free will, and in this conversation, we got onto the topic of reason and the fact that the human faculty of reason actually allows us the freedom to choose where adherence, the slavish adherence to our instincts, our desires, um, does not. So, and the key word here is freedom, because and slavish adherence is a key phrase also, because let's say that the default position of, I suppose, any animal is to act in accordance with your desires, your impulses. You feel like eating, so you eat. You feel like drinking, so you drink. You feel that that female over there is attractive, so you pursue her. This is where many a man not in control of himself might catcall, for example. And maybe men in control of themselves catcall also, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so that this default position of ours, uh, it is to be controlled by our desires. Our desires, we get a desire for something, and this desire compels us to eat, to drink, to pursue a mate, or to any other thing that it might do, maybe rest or sleep or whatever. But with our ability to reason, and we can start to understand the situation, and that understanding gives us some room at least to choose. Let's say that there is a buffet in front of you and you eat, but then you start to realize that if I continue eating, I will develop a stomach ache or indigestion or something to that effect. And because of that, you choose to stop eating. Whilst a person that would be under the slavish control of his desires would continue eating and then develop the indigestion and the stomach ache and so on. And at least for self-interested individuals, which should be most of us, this does become important then, to actually get this choice, so that we don't have to suffer where our slavish desires would lead us to suffer, even though we don't understand it. So to stop, to understand, to know your own limits, to know how to keep healthy, how to do all of these things that either directly or indirectly are or lead to something that we want. This is not done by intuition or by desire alone, by impulse, let's say. Instead, it is done through, directly or indirectly, through reason. You start to understand how things are, how they function. You use your understanding to choose what will happen within the boundaries of what can happen. And that, again, is only achieved through reason. And I suppose that this is, you know how people historically have been talking about civilized human beings versus barbaric human beings, where the civilized human being is the more rational one, and the barbaric human being is the one who is specifically a slave to his instincts, to his desires. The reason why we find it desirable to be the civilized one rather than the barbaric one is because we want this control for ourselves. Because the barbarian is only happy by chance and fortune, whilst the civilized man, to the extent to which he is civilized, is happy by choice, as long as it is possible, of course, for him to choose happiness. So there. A quick reflection that at least I found to be useful and interesting.